Hello, welcome back to the Bar Stoolers. Today we're going to talk about Scott Hogan. Martin O'Neill said yesterday that he'd spoken to Scott Hogan and that he was going to declare for Ireland. About 16, 18 months ago, even last December, this would have been a great boost for Ireland in our search for a goal scorer. Nick's here with me, and Nick, what do you think of Scott Hogan and his apparent declaration?
Yeah, I think it's a positive thing. I think the more strikers we have on board, the better. The guy's only 25. Quick mention for Sean Maguire as well. He's only 23, so it's good that we've two young strikers coming into the squad, because I think the youngest after that is Dave McGoldrick, and he's due to turn 30, I think, in October, November time. So, the more depth, the more youth up in attack, the better, especially with Robbie Keane gone now, obviously.
Fair enough. You mentioned Sean Maguire there, and Martin O'Neill kind of touched on it, that Scott Hogan, he said, has a very outside chance of being involved against Georgia and Serbia, and he wasn't named in the provisional squad. He kind of seems to suggest that he had more of a chance than Sean Maguire. They are similar players. Personally, I feel that Maguire deserves a chance to retire. The League of Ireland has gone over. Now, I get why people would say Hogan deserves the chance more, or not deserves a chance more, but has proven himself in the championship. He struggled for the last few months. He was injured and stuff. So, where do you stand, Maguire v Hogan?
Yeah, before I say anything, I love Maguire ahead of him. I think they're two very similar players. They're both very good in the ball. They're both very pacey, decent finishers, very instinctive.
Yeah,
that's something we don't really have in the squad at the moment. Maybe Shane Long, but he's not that prolific, to be honest. I suppose the arguments for Maguire, he's in form. I know he's played a couple of games for Preston, he hasn't scored, but he's done well when he's come off the bench for them. He's coming off a 20-odd goal season for Cork. So if you're looking at momentum, if you're looking at form, I think you have to go for Maguire. Hogan, obviously the passport issue, we don't know if he'll be eligible in time for the Georgia match or the Serbia match. Now, from a practical and a realistic point of view, I think Hogan will probably come in ahead of Maguire by virtue that O'Neill's seen a good bit more of him. He'd been to watch him, he'd been to meet him.
And he's played at a higher level for longer.
Yeah, and we love the League of Ireland. We really do, but even we have to admit that, there's no comparison between it and the Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a much higher standard. There's a lot of internationals in the
Championship.
Championship.
Step up, it is.
It's a huge step up. And Hogan has done the job there for Brentford. Not as much for Villa, but I wouldn't judge his Villa career too much at the moment, because he has had an injury. He only had a handful of appearances in the second half of the season. And he has still looked sharp, even coming back from the injury. But as I said, if you're to go for form, if you're to go for someone who probably deserves it a bit more, I'd say Maguire. I personally like Maguire more. If you're to go for someone with probably experience at a higher level, someone O'Neill's probably more comfortable with, it's probably Hogan. But again, I don't think he'll be eligible anyway.
He says, Martin O'Neill said, he spoke to him and he's in the middle of getting a passport and he has an outside chance of playing. But then why not just name him in the 39-man squad that they're going to cut down? It just seems a bit, I don't know, the rest, it seems a bit unfair on the likes of Maguire, who's just been named in the squad. Do you think that he obviously you don't know, but do you think I want him to come and genuinely want to play for Ireland. I don't want it to be a backup option to England. Like Mark Noble very nobly said that he didn't want to take away the opportunity from somebody who actually had such an affection with Ireland.
Yeah.
Affection for Ireland even. So where do you stand on his Are we an England B team for players who can't get into England set up?
Yeah, I mean, look, the way you have to look at it is you can't get inside a guy's head and measure how Irish he feels or how Irish he is. I mean, you don't know how he is with his Irish family or how connected he is. He doesn't have to come out publicly and shout and scream about being Irish, but you never know. Like I know a lot of people in the UK who are very proud of their Irish roots, and I don't think people here maybe understand it as much as someone from a UK perspective with Irish heritage would. So we can't get inside his head. We don't know. From his point of view, from the England option, if you look at recent years, the likes of Jamie Vardy, well, obviously he's doing the job in the Premiership, but he came up from the lower leagues. Obviously, probably didn't think he'd be an England international.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Davies, even a few years ago, getting capped in his 30s. So it's probably easier to get capped as a striker for England now than it ever has been before. And I'm not saying Hogan would definitely get in the England squad. He probably wouldn't. But 5 years down the line, who knows? None of us know. None of us know what he'll do in the next 5 years.
And if 5 years down the line, he would be, say, good enough to get into the England team, which isn't obviously great at the moment, but if he is good enough to get in the England team, then he's playing for us and we have this top class striker. I think that'll be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
This reaction on social media has been really, really positive. I think it's something that we've been kind of looking for, about what, just before the Euros, everyone was like, oh, he's going to go to the Euros, and then he didn't, but I think it is a positive move. I just want him to come and genuinely want to play for Ireland. And I think at the end of the day, if he does that, then we'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I said, you can't get inside the guy's head. The fact of the matter is he's picked us.
Yes.
Which is more than can be said for Jack Grealish that he plays with. The likes of Mark Noble came straight out and said, I'm not going to play for Ireland. I want Irish guys in there.
Yeah, no, fair.
But Hogan, at the end of the day, has picked us. And like any other player in the Irish squad, we need to get behind him. We need to get behind the rest of the team. And I think he's going to do the job for us. I think once he gets a bit of momentum and a bit of game time for Villa, and if he does get into the squad before the end of the qualifiers, I think he'll be a real good asset for us, as was Sean Maguire.
Yeah.
But in terms of Hogan, he's picked us. Let's get behind him. Let's just move on. I don't think we should begrudge the guy.
Good stuff. So let us know below if you want Maguire or Hogan, or your thoughts on Maguire or Hogan, or if you think we're Egypts. Just let us know, and we'll be back very soon with more Irish content. Yeah, it's good. Good.
Everyone's going to be like, you're Egypt.